Welcome back to Phnom Penh in Cambodia. Today we're checking out PH Europark, yep, Europe in Cambodia, with replicas of iconic European landmarks right here in Phnom Penh. Then we're heading down the river to explore Phnom Penh's stunning royal palace and pagodas, and we're wrapping up the day with the legendary Bassac Lane for dinner, drinks and that unbeatable nightlife energy. I'll be breaking down what's at each spot, how much it all costs and whether I'd actually recommend going. You won't believe the prices of beer here, so grab a cold drink. Now let's get into it. Good morning Cambodia and welcome back to the vlogs. We're here in Phnom Penh and we have a lot planned for the day. Starting off with the PH Europark, which is basically a park full of European landmarks, and what we're going to do is a little game where we've got to see if we can guess all of the landmarks and where they are from, and you can play along and let me know how you did in the comment section below. Then we're going to grab some lunch before heading back to the hotel to put our washing on, but whilst that is on, we're going up to the Rooftop Pool where hopefully we'll get cool views over Phnom Penh and we can have a nice swim and cool down. Then this afternoon we're going to go back to the Riverside where the palace is meant to be there, so we could check that out and then maybe look at a few shops, bars, restaurants before heading back to the hotel again. And then this evening we're going to Bassac Lane again, which if you didn't see 2 days ago, it was a really cool lane with loads of quirky bars, restaurants, live music where we can go for drinks and some food this evening. But this morning I've already had a pastry which was unbelievable. Honestly, definitely recommend getting those pastries, less than £1 too. And that's going to fill me up hopefully for this morning. Got the sun cream on now, showered, and we're going to head over to the PH Europark. 11,000 Rial later and we've arrived at the Europark. So there it is, the entrance, and look at how cool this is. It's got the Arc de Triomphe just behind it. It's quite cool. It's kind of like a little complex where people can live, and then it's got loads of shops, bars, restaurants, clinics, hospitals, schools, all that sort of stuff too. So it kind of reminds me of Dubai when they've got all the complexes where all of the people live there. But I think we're going to take a quick look over the Europark bridge first. It looks like the grand halls there in the background too, but everything just looks so exotic. It is very quiet here though, so I'm not sure how many tourists actually come here. I just saw it basically on maps and thought, oh, you know what, let's go and have a look, see what it's like. But I suppose if most people want to go and see Europe, they'll just go to Europe rather than the Europark. But it does mean now that we've seen the Arc de Triomphe in 3 different countries, at Laos, France and here. But we're now going to head over the bridge towards the hall. We actually saw a Cybertruck too on the way here, which is quite cool because I've never seen a Cybertruck before. I don't know if you have in the comments, let me know. But yeah, let's go take a look around and see what there is. There you go, so starting off with the UK with the Swans, the Grand Hall. So it's actually split up into 3 sections. There's Euro 1, Euro 2 and Euro 3. I'm not too sure what any of that means, but they seem to be doing quite a lot of work on it. So I don't know whether it's actually incomplete at the moment and they're just building it, and that's why there's not too many tourists here. So we got told to step away from the Albert Hall, so we're not actually allowed up there at the moment, but we're just walking alongside the canal at the moment. It looks like a lot of things aren't actually complete. So there's like a restaurant there that is currently being built, but they've got a cool water feature here. And as you come this way, you may start to be able to see the Tour d'Eiffel, the Eiffel Tower. And here it is, the Eiffel Tower itself. Who needs to go to Paris when you've got the Eiffel Tower just here? It also says, I love Peng Huoth just there, so I don't actually know what that means or where that is. So someone might have to let me know what that means in the comments down below too. And then at the end of the canal, there seems to be a cool waterfall here. But again, we're just looking over here at this restaurant and it says available space for rent. So they've obviously not like completed it or something. I'm not too sure what's going on at the moment, but we'll have to come back in a few years' time when hopefully it's done. And then you can actually go in and see all these restaurants and cool places. It's kind of like a Disneyland that's been incomplete. Then I'm guessing that the windmill here is for the Netherlands. They always seem to have the windmills for the Netherlands. I feel like they've not really got any outstanding landmark. It just seems to be windmills. I don't know actually, what would be the I don't know, what would be the landmark for the Netherlands if there was one? So you'll have to let me know in the comments. So now we're exploring the other half of the park, and you can see they've actually got some of these geese like boats, probably like a pedalo, but the water looks pretty green, so I'm not sure whether I'd want to be pedaloing in there, although there are loads of koi fish, so that's quite cool. And then on the other side we've got a Barbie park. I wonder what that's like. We're not going to try that out, and it looks pretty closed today, so no to the Barbie park, but I don't know if anyone can see what's coming up, but to me this looks like it could be from the UK again, right near the geese as well, which is funny, so maybe they know that this is where they live. But here it is Big Ben itself. Hopefully get a better view of it from the other side of the bridge. You see Bess over there just crossing. But yeah, it's actually a really stunning place. It's just a shame that it's incomplete. And then in real European fashion, we have got the Sydney Opera House. I don't think you could really get much further away from Europe there with the Australian Sydney Opera House, but it's actually got something inside it, so we're going to go over and take a look and see what is inside, because it'd be quite a cool restaurant if it is one. So it says that it's a pop-up bar, but it's not open at the moment, but it does look pretty cool to come here maybe on an evening and sort of sit down here. Maybe it gets a bit more lively in an evening. There's a Starbucks over there too. But we've noticed there seems to be a lot of Western food places here compared to in the centre of Phnom Penh. So we've seen a Papa John's, Starbucks, and many more Western restaurants. So just gonna have a walk around now, maybe see if we can find somewhere to have our lunch. So we have stopped off in Starbucks to have a raspberry and blackcurrant smoothie. Again, we already know we like these, so I'm not gonna bother trying it. But I've just done some research on the Great Hall, and basically it's gonna be used for stuff like concerts, conferences, weddings, and other things like that. So it seems quite commercial around here. Maybe people will bring their clients to here because it's gonna be this impressive thing. But apparently it's the largest concert hall that they have here in Cambodia once it's complete, obviously, so that will be pretty good, and hopefully once that's opened it'll get a little bit more lively around here because it is a bit boring at the moment. But after we finish this, we're going to head to 7-Eleven, hope to get some washing up stuff for our clothes and maybe some snacks for lunch, and then we'll head back to the hotel. We've just come outside of Starbucks and seen what we think is Greece's monument right here, so it's obviously got like all the Greek statues, which looks pretty cool. So we've just been inside 7-Eleven and bought ourselves a toastie for lunch. So Beth's going to go get something else from a different restaurant closer to the hotel. But we've got 2 toasties, which were 50% off, so it was 2 for the price of 1 basically. And then also some washing up stuff, and it came to like £2.05. But I thought I'd give the benefit of the doubt. Now, if you've seen the Chiang Mai vlog, you would have seen that I actually tried one of these toasties, but it was cold at 3 hours after it had been heated, and I wasn't a massive fan. So I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. We've got a shredded pork and ham toastie this time, so we're going to give this one a try and see whether we underrated the 7-Eleven toasties. Definitely not nicer than before, but I'd still say I've had way better toasters, so people that say these are like the best things ever, there's definitely better things out there. On the way back, we went to the Element restaurant, which Beth actually wanted to go to a couple of days ago, and she ordered a Vietnamese salad for lunch. That actually looks really tasty. And then it also came with this, which doesn't look quite as tasty. That looks like a little bit of sick. So I'm not too sure if she's going to have that or not. But we're just going to put our washing on now, which is just there, and then head up to the pool. So as you come out of the lift, they've actually got a gym up here, which Beth has been to on one of the days. I've not actually been to the gym, but they've got the machines, and they've actually got quite heavy weights too, which is good. I'm not sure if that's meant to be the bench though. That might be quite uncomfortable as a bench, but let's head up now to the pool. So up at the top there is a sauna and a steam room, and then they only have these chairs. They actually have some beds, which is a little bit annoying. And then this is the rooftop pool. So it looks like it's got a slightly shallower bit here at the start, and then it goes deeper as you go further on. But look at how good this view is. It's amazing. It says do not dive. Yeah, well, if you dived, I think you'd have a broken head. Look at that view. This is Phnom Penh at its finest. Hopefully you get a good view of the sunset too. Maybe we'll have to have a look later on again. But it looks amazing. I think there's like one room as well that's right above up there. And it's like a suite room and you get like a little balcony and stuff, which is pretty cool too. But yeah, beautiful day here in Phnom Penh. Unfortunately, it's not fully blue skies, it is a little bit cloudy, but then at the same time, it's quite nice to have the odd cloud because it does get very hot whilst you're here. So as usual, we've got to make sure that we do one length underwater in the pool. And as you can see, it looks a pretty easy pool to be able to do it, so let's get it first try. Jesus Christ, pigeon. As easy as that. So we feel fresh and rejuvenated. Now we're getting a tuk-tuk to the Royal Palace and Silver Pagoda to take a look around. We don't really want to go inside, we just want to have a quick look around because we want to spend a little bit of time this evening doing things. So it's cost us 4,900 to get there, which is just under £1, and then we'll just sort of walk up and down around the park area and the Royal Palace, and then we'll head back so we can go out for a bit. Arrived in the centre and we're just walking around the outside of the walls of the Silver Pagoda and the temple, which is here on this left hand side, or the palace, sorry. And so we're just walking down this street. We're not going to bother going in because it's cost $10 to actually go in there, and we don't really care about going into the Royal Palace today because we've done so many of the other things which is very similar. But it does look beautiful, I have to say. Walk past the entrance of the palace and basically you're not allowed to wear, so you can't wear shorts and stuff, you have to wear long trousers and cover your arms too. So it's quite similar to a lot of the places where we go to, but it just gets so hot. I don't understand why it's a rule. I know it's part of the religion and stuff, for most of it, but it's just so hot here that can you not just wear shorts, please? But now we're near the Royal Palace, the Royal Palace Park, which is just over there, and it's by the river too. There's some cool buildings. And I think there's another temple, but it looks like it's being renovated. Again, loads of scaffolding around it, and it seems like a lot of the things here are being renovated compared to the other places. It feels like the Home Alone scene right now with the pigeon lady in the middle there throwing and feeding all these pigeons. Look at them all. But yeah, it's worse than London, UK. So this is the Moonlight Pavilion, which is literally right next door to the Royal Palace. If you've not seen a picture of the Queen, look her up because she looks very similar to the Queen Elizabeth, which we had not too long ago. But we're now going to head to the Riverside because there's another cool looking pavilion just over here, so maybe we can just take a look in there. There's quite a few people trying to sell tickets and stuff around the Royal Palace because loads of people have asked us already, so we've got to the point where we say, oh yeah, we've already been, and then they don't bother you anymore. And then this is the Pon Lia Che Pavilion, just on the riverfront. Very nice views, I have to say. Beth there with her umbrella to make sure she doesn't get burnt. But yes, it's stunning. All these golden structures, again, beautiful structures. And you don't actually have to pay to see these either, which is quite good. I don't know where all of these pigeons have just spawned in from. Like everywhere else, it's like 1 or 2 pigeons. Then here, there's about 40, 50. It is nice and relaxing just walking down the promenade towards the night market area. There's a few little market stands here on the left-hand side with like nuts, fruit and other small things. And then the odd person trying to say something, but apart from that, it's just really quiet and quite a soothing experience. There are lots of cool bars and restaurants too along the riverfront, and as you can see, there's loads of sport going on in the back too, so it's quite nice really. Loads of like sports bars, fancy restaurants, whatever you want really, is here in Phnom Penh, which is quite good. We managed to find ourselves another Smile store where I got myself some breakfast for tomorrow. So we got a pan of chocolat and some more Oreos, and that came to 8,500, which is just around £2. And now we are walking around the gates of the National Museum. We decided against going in the National Museum because we've learned quite a lot about the history of Cambodia yesterday. So if you've not seen that one, go check that out because that was very deep and dark, and I'll leave a link to it in the description below, so go watch it after this one. But this is the museum, so it actually looks really cool. I love the architecture in some of these museums because compared to in the UK, you don't get anything like this. But we're not going to go in. I'm not sure how much it is, but it's not expensive if you do want to go in. But I'm pretty sure it is just artifacts over the last however many years. So for us, it's not really that interesting. So we're going to give this one a skip. So you've booked a tuk-tuk for 6,200 to take us back to the hotel now. So then this evening we can go and have a few drinks on Bassac Lane. We're now ready to go back to Bassac Lane. The guy in the tuk-tuk was actually really nice, telling us a little bit about where he's from. So he actually lives near the border of Vietnam, how much he's explored Cambodia, and he's not actually ever left the country either. So I'm surprised he hadn't, because if he lived right on the border of Vietnam, I just would have thought he would have hopped into Vietnam, but he decided that he didn't want to do that. So that's fair enough. He now lives in Phnom Penh, and we're now going to head off to Bassac Lane for a couple of drinks. Been looking forward to this. Try to give ourselves some more time this evening so we can try a couple of bars before we actually go out to eat tonight. And we are back at Bassac Lane, trying to basically find somewhere which sells cider, because Beth really wants a cider, and half of the places sell it and half the places don't. So we're looking for like a cute little bar or something we can just sit inside, get our first drink, and then think about what we're going to eat tonight. So the first bar of choice for tonight is Can Can, and they seem to have something for Adele, because there's been about 3 Adele songs in a row, but it's great. It's a really nice bar. Beth will show you around. It's quite funky. It's sort of got like its pink lights. Maybe this turns into a dance floor later. I don't know, but it's a really nice bar, and there is loads of nice bars down here. But I have ordered the Draft Cambodia, and Beth has ordered a Singapore Sling. She's ordered a Singapore Sling. That was $3, but my beer was $0.75, 75 cents, which is like 58p, which is crazy. So cheers to cheap beers. So we spent a couple of hours in Can Can, and we actually met up with some people that we met from the Lao boat. It was Cassie and Mike, and they're such nice people. So we had a few drinks with them. Well, I say a few drinks. We had 6 beers, I think, in total, and each beer was 75 cents. So overall, it came to like £19, or maybe just under £20. And I spent about £4 of that on just beers, and Beth spent the rest because the cocktails were way more expensive than the beers, but it was quite funny, really. And now we've come over to Compass Mexican, which is just in front of us here, and we've ordered a quesadilla, and you ordered a burrito, was it? Yeah, and a vegan burrito. So we're hoping to enjoy that. It's raining a little bit too, so I'm getting a little bit wet just stood here recording, but we've got our like thing that'll vibrate once the food is ready, and then after that we'll head back to the hotel. So we've got a takeaway. But yeah, it's been really lovely just speaking to new people, speaking to new friends, and hopefully we'll see them along the way again, like Ho Rong and a few other places. We've seen them like 4 or 5 times now, which is quite funny because everyone's doing a similar sort of trip. So it'd be great to see them again. So we've just collected the food and we're now walking back. As you can see, I'm being attacked by an umbrella because Beth can't lift it high enough. But no, it's starting to absolutely tip it down. But we're determined to walk back rather than, well, I'm determined to walk back rather than getting a tuk-tuk. So we may get a little bit wet here on the way home, but the food is in a safe bag, so hopefully that should stay nice and warm when we get back. And we are back in the room, and see how muddy it is. Look at Beth's feet. She looks like she's got some black nail varnish on her toes, but we've managed to get ourselves a takeaway to bring back from the Mexican place, so I'll show you what we've got. So the first thing we've got is the quesadillas. So this is my meal. They look very nice. And then the other meal which we have got is Beth's burrito, which I shall show you too. It looks like a normal burrito, to be honest, but here you go. And there it is. Now I'm going to give the quesadillas a try. So it's a chicken quesadilla. Looks really nice. That's really good. Very cheesy too. Tastes really nice. It was funny because our plan was to go and try out loads of different bars and then go to the restaurant. But as soon as we met our friends that we'd met on other trips, we thought we'd just stay there and drink with them. So we did in the end. We're going to eat that now, and then we're going to head off to beds because it's getting quite late, and we have a bus in the morning which is going to be taking us to our next destination at Cam Pot. So that's at 10:30 in the morning, so we need to get to bed fairly early, so I do hope you all enjoyed this vlog, and if you did, do make sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you are new to the channel. We try and get vlogs out as soon as possible, and also it does go a long way to supporting the channel, and I'll see you all in tomorrow's vlog.